All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about something we've all felt, but it's kind of weird to admit. It's that instant gut feeling of dislike for someone you have never ever met before. I mean, really think about it. You're in a room, you see a total stranger across the way, and for some reason, your brain just goes, nope, don't like them. You don't know a single thing about them. So, where on earth does that feeling come from? A perfect example is road rage. We've all been there, right? Someone cuts you off and bam! Instantly, they're not just some random person who made a mistake. Oh no. In that moment, they are the worst human being alive. It's this flash of pure emotion for a complete stranger. So let's get into the why, because this isn't just you being a grumpy or judgmental person. That little flash of dislike is actually a super complex reaction, and we're going to look under the hood and see what's really pulling the strings in our brains. Yeah, these feelings are anything but random. They are a wild mix of ancient survival programming, our own personal stuff that we carry around, and all these invisible social rules we've picked up over the years. Understanding them, that's the first step to getting a handle on them. So let's start at the very beginning with our brains. Because in a lot of ways, we're walking around with software that was built for a world that was way, way more dangerous than the one we live in now. Think about it. Thousands of years ago, seeing a stranger wasn't a casual thing. It was a potential life or death situation. Is this person a friend, or are they a threat to my tribe? Your brain had to decide, and fast. That little alarm bell, that uh-oh, be careful feeling, it's still hardwired into us today, even when we're just, at the grocery store. And that instinct ties right into one of the biggest drivers of human behavior, the us versus them mindset. Our brains are sorting machines. We love putting things and people into boxes. The in-group, that's us. The out-group, that's everyone else. And this isn't some ancient history thing. Just think about your favorite sports team versus their rival. That feeling is very, very real. So this is basically the mental shortcut our brain takes. Us is familiar, it's safe, it's trustworthy. Them, on the other hand, is unknown, unpredictable, a potential risk. It's a super simple but incredibly powerful bias that's humming away in the background of our everyday lives. Okay, so we've got our ancient survival instincts covered. But what about the stuff that's a lot more personal? Because sometimes the reason we dislike someone has almost nothing to do with them and everything to do with us. And this really gets at a fascinating concept. The idea that we're often looking at other people through this distorted lens, right? A lens that's been shaped by our own personal history, our insecurities, all that stuff. In psychology, this is called projection. And it's basically when we take a feeling or a trait in ourselves that we really don't like, or maybe we don't even want to admit is there, and we just kind of stick it onto somebody else. We see it in them, so we don't have to see it in ourselves. So here's how that plays out. Let's say deep down, you're worried that you come off as arrogant sometimes. Then you meet a new person who's really confident. Your brain, without you even realizing it, takes your own fear of arrogance and just pins it on them. All of a sudden, you're thinking, wow, that person is so arrogant, and you dislike them for it, when what you're really reacting to is your own insecurity. It's wild. Okay, so we've got our caveman brain, and we've got our personal baggage, but there's this other massive layer we have to talk about. The unspoken scripts that society gives us about who's good, who's bad, who to trust, and who to be wary of. And we absorb these biases from absolutely everywhere, usually without even thinking about it. You know, how certain types of people are always shown in movies, the kinds of stories the news decides to focus on, even the little jokes you heard as a kid, or the attitudes of your family, all of it builds this mental library of stereotypes that can fire off that instant dislike. And now, in our world, you take all of that and you throw it into a super accelerator called social media. This technology has this amazing power to connect us, but man, it can also dig the trenches between us even deeper. I mean, on one hand, it's pretty incredible, right? We can talk to people and see perspectives from all over the planet. But on the other hand, the tech itself can sometimes work against that exact thing, making our world feel smaller instead of bigger. And here's the sneaky part. The algorithms, their only job is to keep you watching. And what's the easiest way to do that? Show you stuff you already agree with. Over time, this builds an echo chamber where your own beliefs and biases are just bounced back at you over and over, making them feel like they're way more common and way more correct than they might actually be. Now, I know after hearing all of that, ancient instincts, our own baggage, society's biases, technology, it can all feel kind of depressing. Like we're just puppets. But here's the good news. We're not. There is a way to break free. And this is maybe the most important takeaway of all. Yeah, these forces are powerful, and they're deeply rooted in us. But they are not your destiny. You have the power to become aware of them and to consciously decide to do something different. It's not easy, but it is absolutely possible. So what does that path forward look like? Well, it starts with just paying attention, self-awareness. The next time you feel that flash of dislike, stop and ask yourself, wait a minute, where's this coming from? Is it really about this person? It's like fact-checking your own gut. From there, you gotta actively seek out people and ideas that are different from yours. And, this is the big one, when you talk to them, you have to listen to actually understand, not just to wait for your turn to talk or prove a point. This quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. The point isn't to pretend we're all the same, because we're not. The point is to change our default setting, to switch from instant judgment to genuine curiosity, to wonder about someone's story instead of just assuming you already know it. Because that person who cut you off in traffic, yeah, maybe they're just a jerk. Or maybe they're racing to the hospital to see their kid. The truth is, we almost never know the full story. And just remembering that everyone has a story we can't see, well, that's how we start breaking down those walls between us and them.